DreamHack ASTRO Open is brought to you by ASTRO, Monster Energy, Corsair, Zowie, Intel, and Lenovo Legion.
Well, after it seemed like compLexity were going to be able to sweep their way through map number 1 after the first half, a little bit too difficult for them, and Luminosity came back at the very end of it. They took control of Inferno, and now they lead this series 1-0 as we get prepared to jump into the second map, which is going to be here on Train. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the DreamHack ASTRO Open, live from Montreal.
And this is the map that determines if compLexity go home, or if there's going to be a third map. Train, famously a map that's comfortable for compLexity, a map that they've always played online in qualifiers because they know they're comfortable on it. They've played against structured teams against it. They've practiced against the best in NA against it. And they always pull it out on these online qualifiers knowing how comfortable they are on the map. Even with changing a couple players, ASTRO only brings more firepower to this roster when they're going to go for this map. Famously, it is just Android pretty much just one-man armying it during qualifiers back in the old roster of Surreal. And the other person slips my memory. So many roster changes lately, Blue. It's hard to keep up. NA is just shuffling everywhere. EU's having shuffles.
I mean, compLexity just been a big bag of roster changes, to be honest. It's like a consistent thing with them.
They get... I don't want to call them NA leftovers, but it's players who don't fit into other rosters, and compLexity invite them all into their home. They see how they go, and then kick them out after like 3 months. So this roster seems like it wants to stay, it wants to be stable. They're competitive against Luminosity, who are on the up and up. Android's always been consistent on Train. I like Ye how he fits in the roster, and having an opera like Peter to really find these frags early on, especially in a map like Train with all the long lanes, is pretty much crucial to getting a W here. And we saw Peter, he was on his A game, at least for the majority of that Inferno match. No. Peter was doing really good. And the one thing that Peter was doing really good at wasn't necessarily the opping thing either. It was trade kills. He was doing a fantastic job. And he constantly had to pick up the slack for the rest of his teammates when they would go down and they would get picked off in situations where they really shouldn't have been. And he would always show up and trade those kills back. So he actually did a pretty respectable job of that, especially in the first half too. I wasn't paying too much attention to it in the second half, but I did notice quite a bit of that in the first half. Yeah, he did a nice job on the east side towards Banana where Def would aggress and Peter would hold the angle, and if Def would die, right, he'd immediately get that trade frag, if not go for more. He's just so aware, knowing when he has to get these refrags and when to aggress. Warden, the coach, a guy who's been around for a long time. I think he's double my age, triple my age, maybe triple my age. He's up there, right? I think he's 60-ish. He's been something like that.
I don't know about that, but he's been around. He's been around as far as I know.
He's an experienced man. He's been coaching compLexity for quite some time. We talked about this at breakfast as well. So he's been around the block, just waiting for the players to do the .gaben or .ready, whatever they prefer, I suppose, in the server. And we'll get this one started. Anything you're looking for more particular in this map than from a certain player, from a certain team? What are you looking for?
I mean, I think both teams really played their hardest there, especially as we were getting in towards the end of the first half and into the second half too. It was an extremely back-and-forth matchup. I wouldn't necessarily say one team just completely dominated the other. It really just came down to a couple of crucial gunners. So I don't think any team was having like a huge series of mistakes or anything like that. I think it just came down to some of these bigger gunfights, and the better team won at the end of the day there, which in that last map ended up being Luminosity. Almost was compLexity, but they kind of dropped the ball in the last couple of rounds, and that's what eventually threw it over to LG.
I'm excited to see what compLexity are going to bring out on Train. Famously, they love fighting for ladder control. A lot of teams have been going for this. SK like to do it, and Immortals like to do it, where they'll throw 2 players in ladder, have 2 players back green, and then just a player in B. And as soon as there's sound heard, they'll pull either one of the Ivy players and just rotate him to Z and have that rotator. Or just go extremely passive and play push back in lanes, a player back lanes, a player back green, playing off a site. But I'm excited to see if compLexity and Luminosity shuffle in this kind of form of aggression on the CT side. As I mentioned, you can push down Ivy, get aggressive sandwich. The 2 up in the ladder is very difficult. Although when we did watch, I forget what team it was yesterday who played Train. I think it was compLexity. We watched compLexity play Train yesterday, didn't they, against C9? And they lost 16-5. They looked a little lost. We'll be fair. They looked a little underwhelmed. And a little just pressured from C9. They tried to go down ladder. They'd walk down, walk up, flash, walk back to... nothing was really clicking. So perhaps after getting in a BO3 or warmed up, it's not just a BO1. I think they might be a little more zoomed in here.
The whole team seemed a little bit lost yesterday, to be honest, in that matchup on Train. So we've already seen some pretty big improvements coming into just the first map that they played over here on Inferno. So now we're going to hope that that continues to be the pace, that they show much better improved just individual performances as well, not even from the team aspect of things, and that would be enough to push it over the edge and allow them to take the second map against Luminosity. But we're going to have to wait and see, as it does look like the neck front is being played. And also, as soon as that's complete and the players have readied up, it will be match time, ladies and gentlemen. It will be time to see which of these two teams will be able to push forward. Luminosity, like I said before, they've got the series advantage right now, 1-0 advantage in their favor. So if they're able to take control of this second map, they will push onward into the lower bracket final here against Cloud9.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready to jump into the game. compLexity, a must-win situation against Luminosity. If they drop this, they are eliminated from the tournament. And personally, I'm excited for this. I think this is a must-win for compLexity. If they don't win this, back to the drawing board, perhaps more roster changes. But here we go. DreamHack ASTRO Open Montreal, compLexity Luminosity, a game to stay alive. compLexity need to keep rocking.
Just realized as well, we had it up on the screen there for a second, but the pistol stats, it was compLexity, well, or excuse me, for Luminosity, things have not been going that well for them in terms of their pistol stats. They're 0-4 right now with pistols, so they've yet to win a single pistol round so far in this tournament. And we do want to remind you guys once again to be sure to go ahead and check out sliver.tv, where you can watch the tournament, and not only watch it, but win some prizes as well. So be sure to go ahead and check it out. As we're getting right into the action here, Yaster tries to push forward, getting aggressive, as does Slemmy, and both players go down with almost no damage traded out to compensate for it.
I love to see CT aggression, but when you just get punished like that, but Android spins around and he gets the fourth Android. What have you done? As he spins around and finds that player out, T-Con, and it is a 1v1 as his teammate Peter will get caught out. Now Android has to ace to win this one, as PKL is just going to hold and wait, but Android, they don't call him a machine for nothing. That is just unreal.
Turns around here now, so takes a little bit of a risk, and now he's going to have the long-range duel. All 4 of those kills were headshots, too. Just waiting for the peek. He spots it, doing some damage from long range. Just 1 or 2 more shots are needed to take down PKL here and win the round. He was thinking he was going to go mid-train, but no, not the case. He's pushing back out. He's going to be a little bit careful, running low on ammo, goes with reload, but now caught in the open, tags PKL again, down to 4 HP. Can he do it? Can he get this ace and complete this miraculous reversal? Well, we're not going to see the ending of it right now. PKL smokes it back out. Android tries to throw the sound cue out there, making it seem like he was going to rotate into B, maybe flank, but that's not what's happening here. Or maybe is it? He does go back upstairs. He's going to head all the way into the B bomb site. Let's see if he can flank around PKL.
Comes down to timing. PKL on 4 HP, does have a flash. And it's so hard to clear back green with the amount of time he has. Android's actually running all the way back now, down to ladder. Doesn't want to commit to that Z push. Thinks it'd be too obvious, so out ladder he will commit. As PKL is still hiding back green, Android knows where the bomb is planted now, and it comes down to clearing Z. He can't afford to clear everything. With no kid, he almost has to stick it, as he's going to try to bait out PKL.
PKL's so smart, too.
And PKL's not peeking, he knows.
He's going to run the timer down for it as long as possible, and there we go. When it's finally time, he can jump back out and strike. Denies that ace. Still an incredible round from Android, but ultimately falls short on the last player and gives that round right back to Luminosity. And they finally win a pistol.
And that's on the back of 2 CTs, pushing down Ivy and losing the initial duels. Android brings that back to a 1v1. Very close. Scout back out on Ye. I've seen him go do some crazy stuff online, but he throws it to Android. I mean, throw it to the man who's hot, who throws it to death. Just hot potato with the Scout, throwing it all over the place. As Luminosity will go for 3 AKs. A great map, 4 AKs on second round, as long as you have those SMGs to go first. The SMGs bait the peaks, and the AKs at long range do a nice job of tapping some heads. compLexity, not really getting too aggressive across the map.
Nice.
But there you have it. That's one way to start it off with from Yaster.
Yeah, with the peek back out, gets the instant deagle headshot. Goodbye to Showtime. He's going to meet early grave in this round. And he looks for more, too. He's hoping for another re-peek from Ivy. He's not going to see it, though. It looks like the rest of Luminosity are getting ready to push in towards inner and go for a hit here. But there's Android again. He's got the deagle now, too. That's a dangerous combo right there. As Nekis picks up his fallen teammate's gun, they're going to try to look to do a little bit of damage. But even here, Slemmy's waiting. He pushed back in. Maybe a little greedy for Slemmy there, as he went right into the room. He was still able to dink PKL, though. Brings him down to 1 HP. But with that kill, it's going to be enough to send Luminosity back inside, or towards the box stalls, and maybe go with their original plan after all.
Def is going to hold upper while Android will get on first train. We'll see where Luminosity really want to commit with PKL on 1 HP. And he is back towards T-spawn. He has utility, so we could see him throw a little bit of a fake, a sandwich smoke, perhaps some flashes over. He's expendable at this point based on his HP pool. But it looks like his teammates are going to rotate back to him. Yell's going to take the long walk all the way back around. His compLexity. Disappointing. Not picking up that pistol. Maybe able to just turn the tides here.
There you go. There's another shot.
Ooh.
Oh my god, yay. A third kill with the Deagle. Nekkes will trade again, but now he's the problem is he's alone, and look at how much time he has. There's no way he's winning this round. Only 7 seconds remaining. Just trying to hold on to the AK at this point. They spot him. They know he's inside ladder room. They're going to try to pinch him out, and Def will finish it off with a scout shot. compLexity steal the second round right out of the hands of Luminosity.
Get two AKs out of it. No plant for Luminosity. Very expensive due to them buying those 3 AKs over the SMGs. And Ye just hitting some just absolute ringers, taking the heads clean off of Luminosity. As they will get Deagles of their own. And we know how deadly PKL is with it at Deagle. We'll see if he's going to come back to life shortly. While compLexity will keep the scout by a couple M4s. As Def is going to be the man to solo B throughout the CT side. And compLexity are going to push up towards outer yard. You'll see a player towards E-Box. Player supporting him from front sight. As Android is going to be the first point of contact on the CT side.
To try to boost over top the smoke. Ooh, and it works, actually. Not just him, but PKL also finding a frag as well against Peter. Nicely done from Luminosity. It's an eco strike right now, man.
That PKL find Peter towards Ivy, and that boost is insane. That boost doesn't get used too often. Same with the one if you do it outside the door and over those double stack of boxes. You don't see that boost too often. So when it comes out, it catches players off guard, and that's a prime example. As Luminosity now thrusted into a 2-man advantage. PKL is a bit tagged, but it almost doesn't matter due to just the numbers game.
Well, now we do have Showtime starting to wrap back around here. Most of LG trying to group themselves together, that they have at least a little bit of an advantage to work off of. Problem is they've left areas of the map open, and that's where Slummy's going to be able to push back in, finally claiming a life of one of the members from Luminosity, but 3 more pushing out from the ladder room here as Android tries to stop them. A quick double tap to get 1, but doesn't realize the other 2 were also pushing out with him apparently, and it's not just him they take down. Slemmy also falls. Def alone, gonna have to clutch this 1v3 if he wants to maintain an advantage for compLexity. The Molly sends 1 player out to the left side of E-Box. It'll take him down, but he's getting spammed from at long range back from Ivy Tunnel. Yell will finish him off, and it's Luminosity to take back control.
Trading rounds with upgraded pistols. And it makes for an awkward start into the round as the Deagles start to find some heads from both teams. And it just ruins both teams' economies. And it looks like compLexity's not going to fall into the trap. Some teams feel baited into just always buying, no matter what. So the players that had around 2K will just buy some upgraded pistols. Android and Def. Slimy will go for the scout. So he invests down to $50. Yacer's down to 200. So the players that were extremely low on cash invest. But outside of that, trading rounds like this makes for a very awkward start to the match. Very not typical of a typical start of a CS game.
Yeah, we'll end up going 1 for 1 after it quiets down a little bit there. And Cello, well, through the wall, gets himself Android. Nekkes finishing off Def, leaves only Slummy with that scout alive and running around here now. Just not a whole lot that Slummy's going to be able to do with that measly little gun. He can tag at least 1 player, though. Looking for the closing shot, but Cello has gotten himself behind the safety of cover. They've spotted him again, brought him down very, very low here. It's just a matter of those 1 or 2 more bullets that are needed to take him down, and this run will be won by LG.
There you have it. LG will hang on and, more importantly, keep 4 members alive. They keep all the rifles in play. compLexity in a spot for another half buy, so we won't have that typical rifle-on-rifle buys right at the beginning. Normally, we would have a rifle round by now. Instead, we're going to be on compLexity just on a save. You can see Slummy's a little low in the dumps on the cash, so he won't invest anything. It is just a couple pistols. So compLexity could get aggressive. We could see a T-Con push, a ladder push, something to try to catch these players off guard, but it's looking more and more like a Brownhalls push. At least Brownhall's aggression towards upper. Cello's going to push down. He will flee the first trains. Meanwhile, Yell, with the help of his teammates, will hold for the push in. Well, of course, Nekkes will check that corner. Def tried to be sneaky about it.
Had to do a double take.
Is that my teammate?
Didn't really realize that he was sitting back there at first. But quick cleanup, and now Android is with the Deagle. Oh, I was about to say. I was going to say, like, oh, Android gets
You're
the
hopeful, aren't you, for these Deagle kills?
It's Android, man.
That's true.
I'm never going to underestimate Android with the Deagle.
What about a P2000?
Yeah, I mean, that one's just a one-off for the time being.
Almost finds a second on the exit as well. Neckers will hang on. 4-1 Luminosity. Now we will see the rifles out for compLexity. The op even comes out on Peter. So it's a full buy for compLexity on round 6. Rocky start for both teams, but Luminosity are the ones who settle out the boat early and get to smooth waters. compLexity still trying to fight out of the storm, as they will have smokes on everyone at least. A couple mollies. Mollies are critical on Inferno. Ooh. On Train towards T-Con. I know a lot of teams, some teams like to double molly deep in T-Con and then throw one from Ivy, but look at this great flash. Forces Showtime off the angle. He had the spawn for the op. That's why he has it. As Android gets to E-Box safely, good molly in towards ladder. As Def will deal some damage, possibly calling for a rotation soon. But I think compLexity want to get aggressive towards ladder.
Molly going down there as well, and Yell just trying to play around the ladder for some reason there, so gives himself to Ye essentially. And oh my god, Shello, great spray through the wall. Or I guess, I don't know what you would call that.
The floorboards?
It's kind of a floor, it's kind of a ceiling. It's
cubby?
It's kind of a storage space. Just whatever that is.
It's an apartment in New York City.
Through that part of the map. Takes down his opponent and gets the trade kill at the very least.
So Peter just going to be posted now towards T-Con. Luminosity, they feel obligated to almost fight for some kind of map control now. They still have a little upper brown control, but a little unsure of what Def could be up to. He could be pushing towards upper, as they will just keep Cello to hold ladder for now, knowing Ye is, well, Ye's neutralized, knowing that Android is close by. As Android is just going to be content to sit here. Luminosity, one smoke and 2 mollies for an execution. Shello's going to go down full blind. Android wins the first. Up the ladder goes Neckers, but he comes right back down. And Android will say thank you very much as Peter finds Showtime. And it is just PKO. The AWP misses a shot, and he will be sent flying to his death. So, comedic round nonetheless.
Well, there's the second round for compLexity at the very least, getting themselves back onto the board now after 4 rounds straight from Luminosity there. And a little bit of bounce back and forth. Actually, excuse me, after a little bit of trading and some 3 rounds, I think, straight it was for Luminosity. Finally, they'll lose another one here. And compLexity just sits 2 rounds behind, so it's not a huge lead established for LG just yet. And as we can see, they're going to split up, just playing to a default essentially here at the beginning of this round. Push some players into back halls. They've got a little bit of a force push towards Ivy as well. Bomb right outside of T-Con if they need to work into there. PKL actually inside of T-Con. Just keeping all their options open right now.
Yeah, they don't want to commit to anything too heavily. A nice spread default from Luminosity. You'll see this a lot used by some, quite a few teams. The 2 Ivy, 1 player upper brown, 1 player ladder. And PKL is just going to hold for the T-Con push. So it is a little risky having 1 player in T-Con, especially if compLexity midway through the round get a little antsy. Not spotting anything from Luminosity, but just taking shots across the map. They may feel obligated to go ahead for a push. And if you're alone in T-Con, ideally you want 1 frag. So that's PKL's goal right now. As Slemmy is just going to hold from top green, and the slow push coming in from Showtime down Ivy. Smoke on his left, so he is available to swing on the right if he wishes. And PKL is going to try to keep the Opper's attention towards him. He's going to be jumping around, but no luck whatsoever right now.
And ultimately, Peter pushes forward. He's able to get himself the kill against Showtime, leaving Luminosity with 1 man down, at least on this round, to start things off. Yay, with another kill, too. Neckers, though, is actually somehow successfully gets that kill. That's a rare occurrence. Neckers is going to be able to jump down, takes down Yay. Brings it down to a 3v4, but even with that kill, Luminosity don't have a lot of control just yet. They only have 20 seconds left to plant the bomb now.
I was going to say, Slemmy's in a good spot, but he gets cleared by PKL. Android, the man to make the play, pushes towards front red. And is looking towards back red now to take this fight towards site. PKL wins another one. Peter, can he deny the plant? No, Def denies the plant as Peter finds the last compLexity now. They too are getting to these soft, nice waters, as that's 2 in a row for them. Slemmy really yet to put any numbers up, but I mean, can you really blame him if Android's just gonna be fragging out at 10 and 6? I mean, he's just having a ringer of a game. We're only on round 8, and he has 10 frags.
And pretty light buy overall for Luminosity here. They are going to end up, I think, purchasing 1 AK there. That was on Cello, though, who already had a decent amount of cash left over, so it doesn't bring him too far away from where the rest of the team is sitting at.
Nice equalization. I imagine they'll try to bait the idea that they don't have any rifles by the pistols taking first contact. And that may trick compLexity into just overcommitting somewhere. And that's another rifle picked up. That's opening frag, and we'll see what Luminosity can work with off of that. But for now, It is just going to be Peter back towards green. Full trust in Android to hold the T-Con push, and there you have it. That's first blood for compLexity. Looking for some more as the spray through the smoke from Slemmy. Just off the mark as Def hasn't really felt any pressure towards B throughout this game yet. Pretty easy sailing for him.
Man, Luminosity's still pretty split up here, too. They haven't figured out where exactly they want to try and take their hit just yet. Peter has seen the player instead of T-Con at the very least, and now Def is going to see the push coming towards inner. Problem is he can't really stop it. Cello gets the first kill. Yay with a good trade, at least taking down Nekis, but they've already gotten behind the bomb terrain. Android's able to find Cello when he peeks back out, and they're trying to take down, I think this is Showtime over here. Oh no, PKL hunting for a gun, loses himself, and so will Showtime just a few moments later.
That pesky E button. Yeah, sometimes doesn't want to pick up that rifle. So compLexity will tie us up at 4s apiece. With that bomb plant, plus 3-round loss, compLexity will get a buy here. It can and will include the op on yellow, I imagine, as Showtime has enough cash to throw that over to his counterpart. As we just look at these highlights from compLexity locking it down. Yeah, they conceded a bomb plant. Def got caught off guard by that rifler who came down, Cello down ramp. But jumping into this one, you can see the ops back out on Yell. We'll see where he's going to go for the opening pick. Dirty Peak Pete has his op back out. It's always a mouthful to say his nickname, isn't it?
Well, our first full gun round in a little while here, as both these teams have been struggling to get their economies together. A nice even 5v5 finally. And it's looking like Luminosity are going to try to go out pretty aggressively here. Look at this, Neck is already moved up to E-Box here. With the smoke in the way, though, it's going to be a little bit hard to make progress beyond that. And Cello will be the one to strike first. Gets the kill against Yaster. Android lurking around. They have no clue he's up here. Gets the second, looking for a third now. But no, he'll finally be shut down by PKL. Slemmy comes in quickly for the trade to bring the Luminosity down to just 2 players left alive here now. One of them also out, still playing around this E-Box area. And the last one besides that is Yell, just outside of T-Con. He gets dinked, but he picks up the kill. A quick trade from Peter, though, catches Yell midair as he's falling down from the train, leaving only Cello alive now.
The thing he has on his side is time, but a nice peek from Def. Now, I figured Luminosity have caught on that Android loves playing that E-Box position slash front red. That smoke from the CTs tricks Luminosity, though. The plan to run out there and try to take a wide swing on Android, but Android just playing off the smoke beautifully. Luminosity throw their smokes in towards Z and back green and then just commit to the site. Android does a little bit of a juke, and he just wide swings on him as he catches those frags. And now Luminosity back down to pistols. compLexity start to build up themselves, not only hype, but also the money on their side, as Android gonna fall to sight this time, knowing that Luminosity are gonna go for a quicker play, more than likely, with just these pistols and little no utility.
Yeah, and Yell already sneaking out from T-Con this time, a lot more aggressively since they are just on the pistols. They can take a few more risks. And there's PKL again with the deagle. Yell as well. Oh, thought he was gonna be able to sneak up on Android, but it looks like Android knew he was there, hiding behind Olaf. So down's going to go Yelp, and quickly trading this down into a 4v4, now 4v3, 4v2, and now 4v1.
Quickly how it all falls apart, but it is PKL after all with the deagle. And this is how it always starts. It always begins with 1, and he has a minute 5 plus bomb to work with. He's already found 2 compLexity members. What's 3 more? Going for a jog. Getting his exercise in all the way down to Ivy, and there's a compLexity member sprinting this way, may catch him with his knife out, and Peter will put him down. No chance for PKL to find any more frags. 6-4, Luminosity, rifles and up, perhaps will come back out. Yeah, PKL picks it up. So very similar to the previous buys. It just, Yell hasn't had much luck with that op, finding these opening picks. It's been pretty much Android to open up the map for compLexity. He's at 16 and 8. Closest to him would be Ye at 9 frags, just to put a little perspective on how well Android's playing. Every round gets multi-fragged, and he loves pushing aggressive towards that E-Box. It's his playground.
Yeah, so compLexity very much insecure of the lead at this point. Luminosity's still going to try to strike back a little bit here on this gun round now, but compLexity's found some pretty good consistency here and has won the last, I think, 5 rounds right at this point.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
A slow opener again from Luminosity, but I think the follow-up is going to be a lot more direct this time. Good timing on the nade, though. You can see does a little over 70 damage total between PKL and Nekiz. Actually, a little bit less than that, excuse me. I think it was only 60 damage. But anyway, they'll move into the site. They'll be ready to execute here, and we'll have to see just how successful it'll be. Def, I mean, big risk being taken there. I don't think he was expecting to maybe find 2 players up on top, but still just throws himself away. And now we're in a 5v3 in just a matter of a couple seconds.
With Ye pushing down Ivy, as soon as his bomb goes down, this is an instant save call, I imagine. Yeah, they're just going to post up towards back Ivy. Android's going to hold ladder. He hears Showtime dancing around on top. Now Android knows he has the advantage by sitting here. So you'd love to drop some of these LG guns. Again, it's one of these situations where they almost can't afford to hunt. After losing 5 straight in a row, you finally get a bomb planted. You're going to be feeling comfortable. You want to keep as many rifles alive as you can. But LG have the hunting itch for some reason in both of these maps so far. And rightfully so.
That's Showtime just going to dip right in there, finds Slemmy, and then dip right out. Android is able to find himself a trade kill. Takes down Cello afterwards, doing a little bit of damage. They're looking for Showtime here again as well. And Android might be the one to move in, finish it off. Try to at the very least do a little bit of damage to Luminosity. Make it a bittersweet victory for them. Unsuccessfully, though. 4 out of 5 stay alive for Luminosity at the end of the day. And rebuying for Cello should be no problem at all. And that was a great first entry, too. We even missed that one, but that just literally walks straight up and gets the instant one-tap against his first opponent.
So quick. So this is compLexity emptying their pockets now. They're down to lint, pocket lint, which does have a value to some people, but it looks like Luminosity are going to go for the quick play up towards T-Con. Flashes mollies in the whole 9 yards. And already an opening frag. The Opper's down as Android trying to put up a one-man defense again from back red. He loves this train, as he's going to get 2 from it. As Luminosity have been cut down at the knees, it's just Showtime and PKL, but look at Showtime making a play for the ages as he is going to catch Slemmy, but again, it's Android standing up for compLexity as it's just PKL, and who else other than Android to get the job done at this point? I think he needs a raise.
Well, there you go. Android showing up big time when he's needed. This is absolutely insane play from him. Looking at his frag total right now, 21-8 with only 12 rounds played so far.
It's crazy. And that's with them losing pistol.
Yeah.
It's just crazy play.
It started off with a 4K on the pistol, we should mention.
That's true.
He only lost.
True.
The only reason they didn't win the pistol is because he made a bad judgment call and like rotated towards B early or something like that.
And his teammates took weird peeks. So we're staying on board with the man. He's going to find one. Can't get the spray down. Finally shut down. Android dead. Easy round perhaps for Luminosity as it is just Peter. A 1v3 on round 13. Could be considering holding on to the op. Also has a P250, but he does have full utilities. Worth quite a bit of cash in his current form. Peter is just going to be posted towards the bomb site, looking for anyone from Luminosity to get aggressive. Instead, it's PKL. Gets great timing as he pushes down Ivy lane. Luminosity now within 1 round. So all things Android aside, compLexity have strung some rounds together, 5 in a row, but Luminosity have done a nice job of bringing it back. And 6 rounds on the T side is really nothing to poke fun at. It's a decent amount of rounds on their T side.
Yeah, they're fighting back in a really strong way here. At the very least, keep themselves in the match, despite compLexity's streak that they've been able to pull back off. But we need to start seeing a little bit more consistency from Luminosity. I feel like compLexity is going to show up and start crushing things soon, if not, especially going on to their T side with how aggressive and with how successful Android's been with his aggressive style of play. I feel like that's really going to come out to shine on T side. And they start off again, despite them being on an odd sort of force buy here. They're going to get the first kill, knocking out Cello.
Like is per Brown control. It's getting pushed from ramp, and look who it is! The sneaky Beaver Android of... This man's all over the map, from pushing up per Brown to holding for me. Box gets one, but will finally go down without getting a second. Still adds to his kill total, setting him at 23 and 10. And Slemmy is going to push up in towards Old Hell. They have a man advantage going into this Yell. Feeling like he needs to be the man to step up, the man to find another frag this round. To say the A site is clear, let's go ahead and plow forward into it. A train in an uninvited train yard as Yell going to get the molly in towards Z. That forces the scout off. But Luminosity still with 40 seconds. Really don't feel pressured to commit yet.
Oh, with time getting a little bit low, Luminosity soon aren't really going to have a choice. They will have to commit to one of these 2 bomb sites. Trying to figure out which one's going to be their best choice to move back into. They've got Ye waiting for them with the UMP sitting just outside of the spindle, so they shouldn't be having this much trouble against the force buy. But look at it, Ye just tearing it apart. They don't consider to check spindles at all. Yell can't even initially wallbang him, and now Yell's pretty much out of time here. He's going to have to try to play this back out. They're pushing against him, and there we go. Peter shuts it down. It's another round for compLexity, as they'll continue to push ahead with the lead, 8-6 going into the final round of the half.
Luminosity will buy what they can, but it's not. It's going to be, what, 1 AK on Cello? That's about it. Nice peek from Yell with that UMP playing by Spools. That spot used to get used more and more, but now that it's become spammable, there's teams that actually will drop a molly on it from upper. It doesn't get played as often, and sometimes it's easy to overlook it while you have the smokes forward, and the whole point of going to B is you want to push forward after you get the plant. So that spot will get overlooked once in a blue moon, but Ye does a nice job of swinging from it. As Luminosity get a Galil, an AK, and just an armor. The armor and CZ army right now, as compLexity looking to get 9-6. Which all in all is a pretty average and fair score for this match so far.
Giving a little bit more statistical context to Android's performance here too. He's currently sitting at over 150 ADR in the match. Unreal. It might have gone down a little bit in the last round, but still, as of the last round, that's where he was sitting at. Well, Def's going to start us off this time with his own little bit of action here. Luminosity sneaks their way into the inner bomb site. They're still completely outgunned, so they got to be careful of that. But Showtime gets right up in their face. Takes with the first kill. Cello and Nek is finding two as well. Yaster and Peter, along with Peter getting that double kill there, trade it right back, though, and bring compLexity into an even situation. PKL tries to flank, but Peter sees it coming. He's too smart. Yell's going to trade, and he gets that final kill. Beautifully done from Yell. Luminosity battle it back, and they get that 7th to end the half.
Peter's smart enough and hears the footsteps of that player pushing into Z, so he turns and holds that. But a great play from Yellow to push up. That's the beauty of the B bomb site is when you only have those pistols and only a couple rifles, the pistols have to be the ones to make an aggressive play. They have to be the ones to push forward on the back of those smokes. It was good trades into Luminosity's favor until Peter found those two. And then Yell, pushed up in that position, will find the last. As we're going to move into the next half, and one round separates these two teams. Is compLexity going to go home and have one last night in Montreal? Are they going to move on to the next day? And it's yet to be determined, but compLexity are at least impressing me. More importantly, Android is playing well. I said this is his playground, and he's really not playing around today. He does not want any other kids on his swing set.
No, and I mean, it's just like the last map. This has continued to be actually a very close set, extremely neck and neck, rounds going back and forth like crazy as well. And at the end of the half there, I think it was 6 rounds straight without seeing a team win more than 1 round in a row as well. So it's very, very close between these two teams right now. There's no clear winner at this point.
Yell will pick up a kit in the smoke. Nothing out of the ordinary there. compLexity, of course, is going to be Slemmy the man to grab that utility. A couple decoys. I love the fake flash idea. When it works wonders. As compLexity have sent 4 players towards upper brown, we could see a ladder split still. It's still a possibility, but the flash from Slemmy signifies they want to try to take brown control. And PKL is just going to hightail it out of there. He spots 2 players and will fall all the way back to the safety of his USP taps.
No additional action really being taken by compLexity just yet. They're continuing to play this in pretty passive fashion. They have moved down and taken a little bit of control at the bottom of the ladder room, but there's Nek is showing up. Gets that first headshot with the USP, taking down Peter. Taking out one very crucial member of compLexity. compLexity's not going to flinch just yet. Looks like they're backing most of their players from the White Halls over here outside of T-Con. And they'll get ready for an outer sight push in the next few seconds.
They do still have that smoke from Slemmy. It's going to be interesting where they decide to use it. Is it going to be back green? Is it going to be sandwich? Is it going to be the site? So many options for somebody to use this site or this smoke. As Yell is still going to be posted on them from back train stop. So he's going to be tapping away, and out they come. It's Nek to find another one. Yell's yet to connect, but his teammates seem to be having no problems. They have a 2-man advantage pushing back green. Def and Ye all of a sudden find frags, and Def finds a second. How the round can turn quickly as it's Yell still close to the site, trying to deny the plant, but he gets spotted from Sandwich, hits the flick on Android, will drop to Ye as it's just PKL, and he will go down to Def. A huge 3K from him. compLexity, the Americans, and noted Canadian, will hold on to this one.
And someone from England, too.
And, yeah, sorry, and a Brit.
Just a mixed bag.
Reformed.
Yeah. They did Australia, then they can have the full Commonwealth in there.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. Well, compLexity do hold it together, and they win control over that pistol, so they will go up 9-7 now, with a little bit of an advantage to play off of. Luminosity. They are going to, for the most part, actually just upgrade their pistols here. PKL is really the only one that fully 4-spots. Showtime and Cello buying armor behind that too, but Nek is and Yell trying to save a little bit more. Cello, well, he goes adventuring, but as we can see, that does not work out too well. PKL with at least 1 trade, though, from the scout. kills Ye, who gets a bit too aggressive on his own regard, peeking out from upper there. Brings it right back down to a 4v4.
I'd love to see the stats on PKL getting frags during their eco/semi-force buys. I feel like he gets a frag every single time, if not more.
This nade was great too. Goes right back, just destroys Yell's health pool. So easy kill for Def to get, even with the flashbang following it up. But neck is, it's like clockwork. Oh, and now he's gonna pull out the deagle again. No. But somehow Def didn't get that kill. He had to completely pull out the deagle. That was another like second or two that he had to find that frag. And now Showtime, armed with an AK, gets the kill on Android. It's just Slemmy alone all of a sudden here in a 1v3. They know exactly where he's at, too, so it's just a matter of locking him down, and there you go. Showtime gets the final kill. Luminosity, they're right back into it.
And this isn't a replay of the first half, which the exact same thing happened, except the shoe was on the other foot. So, actually, no, this is exactly what happened. compLexity won the pistol, and Luminosity won the next. And then, if you remember, compLexity won the force buy. So, I wouldn't count them out still, especially with these deagles and the 1P250. But again, it makes for another awkward start of the half. compLexity find pistol, Luminosity answer back. They find 2 AKs amongst the rubble of the bodies and get 2 M4s themselves as PKL will fire some shots into T-Con. As compLexity have to be careful how they wish to proceed here.
Four deagles in the mix this time for compLexity. And the 1P250 on Peters, he looks to save for that up in the first gun round. But Yell, well, he's going to make quick work of Ye as he comes outside of T-Con. They know there's a second one in there too, so they'll keep eyes on that one, but most of their pressure is going to be focused over here towards Ivy, where they also are aware of a lot of presence working its way out from compLexity. They don't want to lose control here. They managed to battle back, winning that second round, so now they got to make sure they don't louse it up, and it looks like they're doing a pretty good job making sure that doesn't happen. Slemmy and Android both extremely low. One trade against Nekiz so far, but that's going to be the only trade they're able to get, as Luminosity does control the situation besides that one kill.
And now we're tied up, so this game continues to grow closer and closer together as compLexity probably not going to invest much. Probably barely anything, maybe a flash, maybe a couple pistols here and there, but it's just going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel, while Luminosity will hang on to that one SMG, get rifles on the board. And we could see Showtime and PKL get aggressive towards Upper Brown, but I think this is just going to be PKL supporting Showtime. How popular an Upper Brown to B site pushes, but they are all flooding down ladder. Yell spots his from afar. Him and Cello have just been locking it down as the spray is off, but his teammates got his back, and that's what friends are for.
Yes, they've got quick control over this round right here. Luminosity now going to be able to take the lead out of compLexity's hands again. This is playing out almost exactly like Inferno, and that worries me for compLexity's sake.
Great great T half, bad CT side. Good CT, perhaps poor T side. It's kind of like the Gale Force, where they win pistol, win a couple rounds, and then almost just fall flat and lose their motivation. I hope the same doesn't happen to compLexity here. As a third map, we extremely hype as PKL gets himself in towards E-Box. A good molly, and you can see that is a compLexity smoke that blooms towards E-Box. Actually, they throw 2 there, did they? That's the second one that's bloomed. And Showtime's playing aggressive towards ramp and B, so keep an eye on him as he is pretty much solo. There is a rotator in Z, but it is on Showtime to stay alive or get the opening pick. It looks like compLexity are going to commit to back of those flashes and smokes, though. And Showtime's on the lurky lurk.
Cello specifically sitting behind Bomb Train now, waiting for the push to work its way back in. Oh, but Luminosity, quick control being maintained by them. And even when they do find a trade, Showtime comes in from the backside and slaps their mouths shut. Luminosity, quick control. Once again, Showtime just completely dominating the situation. And now they're up to 11.
That looked way too easy for Showtime. I'm surprised they weren't ready for the quick flank.
Nobody paying attention to it. Look, it's just the Asters has like a knee-jerk reaction here, and the third player goes out, attempts to take the duel, but Showtime just too consistent.
Yeah, it sucks when you don't find the entry frags towards site right away, because then you're stuck in these duels waiting for LG to peek you, and it keeps your attention. Normally, if you swing like that and get the opening frags towards site, you'll have someone watch it afterwards. But based on the pace that happened and how quick Showtime got there, Showtime was able to just mop up the floor. And compLexity on round 21. And again, I feel like I've said this a lot, pistols. But I'm almost scared to doubt the pistols. I have become insecure as soon as I see pistols on the buy rounds.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. We don't want to call pistol rounds over here before we see a couple kills happen anyway. The way that Android's been playing, but Man, PKL just snipes him out from behind the box there, specifically hunting him. He had 2 other choices to make for. Now he's going to be able to find those 2 choices, but only ends up getting 1 of them. Ye does reply with 1 kill for compLexity, but that's okay. Now maybe not so. He gets a second one going here as well. At least partial control of the inner bomb site. They still have a lot of work to do to win this round.
The bomb will even go down. 11 HP. The Molly forces him out. And this is just a big ass from Slammy. P250 armor, single piece of utility, and yeah, 1 bullet puts him down. Chillo finds it. 12 for Luminosity. compLexity, they have hit that max loss plus the bomb plant money, so it will be a strong buy. As we will see if compLexity will be able to start to fight back. They need double digits. They need double digits soon. As compLexity is starting to run away with it. And it all started as soon as compLexity, they picked up pistol, lost the following one. Very similar story to how this previous half started. We'll see if compLexity can turn it around.
Should be a pretty strong, it should be a very strong buy here too now, as we're seeing from compLexity, because they were sitting on like 6K on a majority of their players with the losing bonus, as you said, the plant money considered. So 4 of those AKs come back in. And Peter, what?
Was that the wall?
That was through the wall, I'm pretty sure. Beautiful shot from Peter, and it's on the head of PKL too. But Yell trades it right back and moves in aggressively to the back halls and finds death.
Well, Peter still got it in him, fighting for compLexity's life right now. As Nekkes just as a smoke fades, he'll find another target. That's Android. These double ops from Luminosity come together for 2 frags. Nekkes is just going to molly. He's even thinking about going through the smoke to challenge it. But to top green, he will wait as he has a teammate holding T-Con. And ladder is smoked, so he's not too pressured right now. As Ye is slowly going to work out through Nekkes' smoke, however. Being very, very sneaky. But they've rotated Yell appropriately to be playing from back CT. They have every position covered, but Ye's done a nice job of sneaking out here.
Yeah, lurking around now. Wow. Nekkes is going to be able to cut him off on the other side, though. And that's most of the pushing force from compLexity dead on the ground. All they have left alive now is Slemmy and Peter, who it's a nice second shot there. He's able to take down Showtime, taking him right off the top of the train. Still down by a man. It's almost the exact same situation we had in the last round, actually, but this time, obviously, compLexity with much better gun power. Peter trying to push back up, but finally, Yell gets his revenge against Peter, and Nekkes will also take out Slemmy.
The Brazilian double op on train is famously just ridiculously strong. They can throw the ops pretty much in any position.
Here's the replay.
Is this the wall? He did go, what?
Oh, this was right through the wall.
This is the lineup one, right?
Oh my goodness, yep, this is the one you line up. Nicely done.
He almost messed up that bunny hop, and the timing would have been off, but well played. Well played. That's specifically aimed there for the croucher as well. Most players do crouch when they go into Z. The body shot, I think, would have just been a leg, so good on Peter to get that one. Even with that opening pick, the double op from Luminosity is just floating around. You can see how Nekkes is able to play from back green and hold Ivy at the same time, because the riflers have to get aggressive when you play this double op setup almost. They play the riflers forward. Nekkes is able to shift off of Ivy, knowing that Yell will rotate to CT, and the double ops just do a nice job of floating around and then finally shutting down that B take. So Luminosity are looking very strong with these double ops. And we'll see if compLex can answer back. I mean, without Peter on that op, I'm not too sure what they're going to be up to.
Well, for compLexity, as all of their players split themselves up around the map again, they're running out of opportunities to get back into this game after it seemed like they were going to be able to hold the lead at the beginning of this half, but it's not the case anymore. Luminosity immediately struck back, and they've been on a hot streak ever since then. And now just a few more crucial rounds are needed, and they can close out, eliminating compLexity from yet another tournament and pushing themselves on to take on Cloud9 a little bit later this evening.
Could be a good rematch. Luminosity and C9 always famously have good matches online. So we'll see if that will continue to land. As Slemmy is going to call the boys and tell them what to do. Line up their smokes and go for a full-blown A execution. We'll see the wall of smokes from sight all the way to Sandwich, perhaps, as Nekkes is going to be sitting on Sandwich, the little lip on green train. Waiting and begging someone from compLexity to come out as compLexity waited out, see if there's any counter nades, but it's just Nekkes counter flashing, and he lines them up, gets the triple spray. Nekkes wants to be the one to hammer in the final nails into the dead compLexity body as he's still alive, and a great flash for the pistol as Nekkes is showing you BRCS at its finest as Luminosity will go to 14 and compLexity seems stumped right now.
I think Nekkes was on the ladder when he sprayed.
Was he on the ladder?
It looked like it.
I thought there's a little lip there.
Because I noticed he went down afterwards, so
we'll see.
There might have been a lip, I think, that he might have been sitting on. Because I was about to say, this is like way too good of a spray.
There is a little lip there, I think,
okay.
it hides your feet when you stand on it. Then again,
yeah, you can see that there.
As a C+ player, you really think that...
Yeah.
You know what pugs are like, Blue, come on.
At first, I was like, wow, he's really good at spraying on the ladder for a second. I was like, oh, it's the lip.
The lip.
Gotcha. Well, another pause is going to be used here for complexity. They have them. They have 4 to use on each map, so they might as well try and use these here to see if they can recover it all, figure out, see if any teammates have any additional insight to offer. But ultimately, Luminosity is still pushing ahead more and more, 14-9 now, with complexity continuing to fall behind. Luminosity even getting themselves that double op setup again, so they really have the strength to push forward. And not only that too, but their money is completely out of control at this point. Even after this buy, Nekus is at $13,150 and Yell is at $12,050.
It's crazy. These double op as Yell, PKL, it's just been so hard to stop. Even Nekus can pick up the op. We've seen that so far. Just deadly, right? Deadly stuff. Complexity have been even playing better on train than they did yesterday, and it's still not enough. Even with the Android fragging out. Little silence so far in this half, though, with 23 frags altogether. A little quiet this half, but you kind of have to, you just have to put that to Luminosity, just getting these double ops and fragging just absolutely everywhere. And now they're being relentless with their aggression as Cello will get flashed in T-Con. He'll hold it. Showtime can hold on to his utility because the Rotator and Z will throw the smoke. As Yale's going to find the opening pick, so more things start to just fall away from complexity.
Yeah, looking for that upper push. He might have wanted to stay looking at it because, yeah, there you go. He can get fed quite a few kills if he keeps his gaze peered up there. Misses the second shot, but is going to recorrect it for the third one. And it's just a complete shutdown from Luminosity. No kills at all from complexity that round. And Android, man, what a fall from grace this has been. I'm pretty certain that he hasn't gotten a single kill in this half yet.
Are you mad? Because I'm not. I feel like that's what the meme he was going for there. Still, once these double ops on Yal and PKL came out, there's barely anything complexity could do against here. It broke their economy. Peter, although he found an opening frag, it's just the double op power right now is so good for Luminosity. And now they're just feeling it. They're getting aggressive. They want to end this game. Showtime, a good molly to fall back. Complexity going to try to push forward. They line up for Showtime. Good damage dealt. 3 players below half. And look where the bomb lands. This may be it, Blue.
Ye, though, is doing a good job of keeping these trades alive, and Slemmy with another pickup now gives complexity the advantage to work off of here. The remaining players from LG try to wrap back in through CT, but they've got a lot of work to do to retake this site now. Complexity's built up a pretty good post plant for them to work off of here. Molly going back, it's a little bit too deep. He's got to check back over here, and oh, great shots through the paneling. Tries to jump for it, though, and that's where Peter's going to take him down. So it all falls to Yell to clutch it out right here. Otherwise, Complexity, they're going to be able to stay alive, at least for one more round. Yell trying to go back and forth, trying to figure out where exactly Peter would peek it from. Finally hits the shot, but there's just not enough to, oh, man, if he was ready to take that one, he could have found Yaster there and taken him out. In fact, he could still get him. I think that's what he's trying to do now. Moves back to Z, making sure that he can try to get this kill at the very least or keep them in the sight. Trying to go for that shot. One more peek. Let's see it. There it is. There's the kill finally. Third time's the charm for Yell as he finally gets that kill.
And he died.
Yeah, so there you go. Wipes the slate clean. And that should make this buy somewhat messy. Yeah, there's quite a few players below 4K on complexity.
No AK on Android, he'll get thrown it. I mean, if your player who has 23 frags went off on the CT side, you think you'd want him to have an AK. So I imagine Slemmy will drop him one? No.
No, they don't have enough. They have to go to umps.
Right. Slemmy and I'm surprised I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of surprised when you have a player that's hot on your team, you think you'd give him the AK and you'd take the UMP.
Well, that's what I was saying before, though. Android's not hot in this second half.
Not in the second half, no. But, I mean... It's rough right now. I mean, Slemmy's on 5 frags, so we're kind of getting into deep water here for complexity. They're running out of cards to play, and Showtime's gonna try to shuffle the deck up a little bit as Android will finally answer back with 1. But it is just Android and Yaster in a 2v4 to keep complexity alive here. DreamHack open, DreamHack Astro open. Oh, come on, Ye. He's gonna try to push to the site. Has the bomb in hand, and with a minute 15, is gonna stick this plant. Full trust in no one coming through that smoke. But there you have it. Luminosity will eliminate complexity and move on to play C9.
So good stuff from LG. They do take control at the end of the day, and it's dominant control as well. 16-10 on this second map. Taking swift control on the CT side. Unfortunate that we didn't really see Android come through, as I think that was one of the key power elements for the guys on complexity that ended up being missing in that second half. He did some amazing work in the first half, but it just completely fell flat there, as did the rest of Cole, unfortunately. And as such, they will lose this series 0-2.
Yeah, you got to really tip your hat to Android, as you mentioned. Played extremely well in the first half. Worked around E-Box and Red Train to a T. If you are an outside player, I think you'd watch that demo and you can learn a lot from the T side. But you can also learn a lot from what the issues they ran into on that CT side. If you really want to get into it, I think that's a good demo to watch as an outside train player, not only for Android's play, but also how LG used that double op and floated around the map. It was just lights out play from LG. It's a shame to see compLexity go home, as they do have a Canadian on the team. No bias, of course, as we are in Canada. But that's...
He's still Cloud9. He's still Cloud9.
That's true. They cut Shroud. No Canadian.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Now, I wasn't thinking.
Now you're making me sad over here, Blue.
Yeah, forgot about that.
Well, any other thoughts on that match other than Android going ham and then kind of falling?
No, I mean, just really consistent stuff coming out for Luminosity, and that ultimately goes back to the point I made at the beginning of the series, and that. Okay, great. Luminosity, they're a much more consistent team just when you look at the 5 individuals as their own individual players. For compLexity, great. We had Android completely showing up in the first half, but then the inconsistency shows in the second half. Only gets I'm pretty sure I might be off by a kill or 2 here, but he only gets 1 kill in the second half. So it goes from 23 kills in the first half to just a single one in the second half. That's my big point right there, is that ultimately compLexity, they really have to work on that. They really have to get themselves more consistent, just as a team and as individuals too. And with that said, we can send it back over to the analysis desk to break down this game just a little bit more.
Yeah, here it is. So just looking at this overall, compLexity, a much better showing than I think we would have given them.
It's sort of like I expected, to be honest. Like it's them showing a little bit of skill and then falling through anyway. It's like it starts to annoy me, you know, because there's potential on this team and there's talent on the team, but they never manage to do anything with it. I thought bringing in Slemmy would fix something, at least give them some structure, or maybe like a lot of the rounds with their up man, you know, they play sloppy. Doesn't seem to help them, and it's the same story over and over again.
I will say on at least T-side Inferno, I think he did a pretty good job of changing where the attack was and keeping LG guessing on what was actually going to happen. So I think he did a good job there, but I mean, overall, LG was just a better team. I think individually, and their decision-making is a lot better.
I mean, you could definitely see it. I mean, looking at them, they do have a little bit stronger firepower. It's just no way to avoid that. Speaking of which, let's load up a replay right now and take a look at just what exactly was going on through that. If you want to take a look at it, Hayes.
I mean, this is, I think, an overarching theme of just Brazilian CS in general. They have amazing pistol rounds and force buy eco rounds, stuff like that. This is where they shine, and really this is where compLexity had their downfall against them. They won so many of these eco or force buys that it was just easy.
What up? That was weird. It's like every time we do this, someone just appears here. It's nuts. Congrats.
Thank you.
How you feeling? How's the team feeling?
Very happy.
Yeah.
Why are y'all so good with pistols?
I don't know, man. We just pistol DM a lot.
You make me so mad in Rank S. You know that, right?
I know.
You kill me with the CZ all the time.
My CT is good, man.
How was preparation for the event?
It was pretty good, honestly. We were having troubles because we changed 2 players, and we are trying to adapt in their play style to our play style. And we struggle a lot in the first matches, but now we're getting better and better. Was
a problem with the players coming in a role issue, or was it just getting them into the groove of how y'all like to play?
I mean, Cello is our. I mean, we brought Cello because he was supposed to be our hard carry. He was supposed to be a star in this team, and when he first came, he was struggling a little bit because we didn't let him do what he wants to do, and now he's playing like he's supposed to do. He's doing whatever he wants, and it's working out. I don't know. Yeah.
Talking about like getting new players into your team, could you elaborate a little bit on your coach? None of us knows him that well. You know, what is he doing, and what type of guy is he?
So Apoca, he was our coach before, but he had some problems in Brazil, and he had to go back to his family. And after the first 6 months of this season, we decided that we wanted to bring him back because he brings a lot of emotions to the team. He talks with us and brings us back to the game. He was A1 in Inferno, and he was talking, guys, come on, don't worry, you got this, you got this. Sometimes I was like 3 and 8, and he said, yeah, come on, man, you're good, you know that you're good, just keep focused and keep playing. He's like a more motivational coach, but he always do the anti-strat code too. So he's also style.
you also prepared for compLexity. How much did you look into the demos and the way they played?
Inferno, we didn't look because we played them on online match a few days ago, and we beat them pretty easy on online. And we didn't. We knew what they were gonna do, but we didn't prepare as much as we could for Inferno.
I mean, you guys are also in a position where you do see compLexity in different events. You do see them online. You do play them. Does that make a difference coming in and playing them on LAN?
A little bit. It's more pressure for both teams. We do more mistakes on LAN, and we need to fix it. But other than that, it's the same thing.
Well, congratulations, you guys, securing that W. You got one more matchup before you can go on to the semis, though. So hats off, keep it up, huh?
Thank you very much, man.
All right, let's take a look at the statistics and how this matchup broke down across the board. The numbers are there. What do we got?
Well, I mean, as you can see, it's kind of evenly spread. I don't think there was any one particular player that stood out for even either team. Obviously, Slimmy had another rough series. Not a very good LAN for him. He's going to have to go back and watch these demos and see what he did individually to improve. But, I mean, I think he did okay as a caller in this event. But LG was just all around the better team, yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about those force buys from LG.
Man, I just don't understand how they're so good with those pistols. Like, when I try, it doesn't. I feel like maybe I'm just bad, but maybe it just doesn't work. I mean, does it work for you?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, but I also feel compLexity made it a bit easier and make them look a little bit better than maybe justified. The way compLexity played the Antigos was not as composed and structured as I would have wanted to see. Whatever that's up to Slimmy or is it players that wants to do something differently, I don't know. But they need to be more composed and they need to have a plan in the Antigos, because we know pistols are a dangerous thing in this game, and if you don't have a set plan for it and if you just let your players run around and do whatever they want, it's gonna hurt, especially against a team like Luminosity, who are good with pistols.
And they're gonna punish you for it.
They're gonna punish you. Simple as that.
Simple as that. You know what's even more simple than that is heading over to the Google Play Store and picking up that Strafe app. Man, I can't stress it enough. That's what you should be doing right now, because you can keep along with this tournament, the next tournament, the tournament after that. You can learn about it all. You can follow your favorite teams. Head over to the Google Play Store or the App Store and pick up the Strafe app right away. In fact, I think why don't we just take a look at how it all works out before we go into our next matchup. And by that, we'll go into the brackets instead.
Nice try, man.
That's right.
What do you think, guys?
I mean, it played out as I expected. I just want to point out for everyone watching out that I'm 8 for 8 in predictions, you know, just clapping my own shoulder. But I think the group played out as it should have right here. compLexity were the weaker team compared to Luminosity, and we now get a matchup Luminosity against Cloud9. Could potentially be close, but I still think we have a clear favorite in Cloud9 going into that.
I would have to agree with you. I think Cloud9's a favorite here. I would be surprised if Luminosity got one map, but they did look pretty good today. But as you said, I think compLexity, just lacked the structure that they needed to take out a team like Luminosity. It made them look better than they actually were.
Well, going into our next matchups are the crucial ones, certainly ones where it's do or die time, right? You either put up or shut up, dare I say.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh.
Topical.
Anyway, we're going to be going into that commercial break. And when we come back, we've got our final 2 matchups of the day. So make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.